Namaste. Assalamu alaikum. Ciao. Konnichiwa. Bonjour. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's Ken at 10 once more here for you. Hope you're doing well today. And just bringing you, as usual, the latest news and views on the property market. Stand by. Well, good morning, everybody. I hope you're doing well. At the moment, what we're finding is that we're busier than expected, actually. We're always busy at this time of year to a degree, but it's been great. And what's been really good is the way that the streamlined processes have come together for us in terms of this week we've had 4 instructions, 1 come on the auction side and then 3 on the general side. And they're already scheduled for take on photographs and floor plans, virtual tours, the whole lot this week. And we'll have them live certainly by the end of this week, and looking forward to showing you around those ones either virtually or actually when the time comes. In terms of the market generally, what we're finding is that there's still a big shortage of new homes coming to market versus the number of people looking. I think actually to reverse that, what we're finding is that we always experience at this time of year not a great volume of property coming to the market. But what's changed this year particularly is confidence. There's so much confidence out there with buyers right now, and they're looking to buy. They're looking to make those buying decisions, and there just aren't the houses available. And so the supply of buyers is up, and the number of houses is running relatively low. So if you're thinking of selling and you need to just sell, could be just the right time for you. It's busy out there. But if you're also buying, the difficulty is you're going to have the same problem the other end. So I'd hang on a while for the spring when it's a little bit busier, if that's your circumstance. Maybe early spring. We normally find when the sun comes out, particularly in March, if the sun comes out in March, it can be quite rainy, can't it? Then it can be really good. Let's get on to some general headlines. Potential sellers ask for 44% more valuations than last year. Well, that's encouraging. And certainly, as I said, we've found that we've been busy with people demanding valuations. This is data from Rightmove, and it showed that January kicked off with a 44% jump in valuation requests compared to the same time last year. The first working day, 4th of January, saw the 5th highest number of valuation requests in a single day that Rightmove has ever recorded. Its data also showed a 15% increase from last year in the number of buyers inquiring about homes. The average asking price is now $341,000. That's up 0.3% compared to December, and 7.6% higher than a year ago. And the 3 regions that had seen the highest growth of more than 10% in the last year was Southwest, East Midlands and Southeast. Now, Gove is still talking about targeting cladding providers. And interestingly, there's an article in City AM that says that the government is anticipated to take almost 400 years to fix buildings affected by unsafe cladding at the current pace. So that's how much action they've taken so far. Out of 3,191 buildings with non-composite cladding material registered with the fund, just 12 have had works completed since the launch of the fund in July 2020. This means the fund is helping to remediate a total of 8 properties per year. I mean, it's just crazy, isn't it? I mean, mind-blowing. And, Gove's talking about teeth and what he's going to do and everything else. We've yet to see it, but also we're hearing that these big builders are going to make a statement about what they'll do. We'll see. But my view is it's all a little bit too little, too late, and very frustrating for those involved in it. Increasing house prices could be caused by a lack of new homes. Well, we touched on this yesterday, and the Daily Telegraph and the Times are reporting this, and they're saying that it's the reason behind the shortage in the rise in house prices, a shortage in new builds. And one of the things that's happening is actually the opposite in my experience, is that more people are considering new builds for 2 reasons. Number one, energy consumption. A lot of new homes, or all new homes, in fact, are at least a C, often a B. That means that they cost significantly less money to heat and to power. And those savings are very significant when fuel bills are particularly high as they are now. So what we're finding is people are sometimes accepting a smaller property than they had desired that's new, thinking about the longer term savings. And that the problem with new build for most of us is that the like for like comparison with the second hand market, you're going to get much less for your money. But like a shiny new car, you will be the first one in there. It will be under warranty and it will be energy efficient. So you pay your money and takes your choice, but you can expect to pay a substantial premium for a new build property. But there are benefits in the broader sense if you can live with the smaller size versus the bang for your buck. The government's cracking down on tax for second homes and holiday lets. Is a report in the Mail saying the government's new tax crackdown could affect owners of second homes and holiday lets. It quotes Ray Bulger of John Charcoal saying some 97% of the 65,000 holiday let properties have rateable values of under 12,000. And that means they qualify for rates relief and pay no rates at all. But new rules are aiming to ensure that only properties which are rented out for longer will actually receive the tax break. A third of shop units are empty in some towns and cities. Well, this is reflected wherever you go in and around London now. 1/3, 30%, 33% of shops and offices are vacant. That's quite shocking, isn't it? And we've said for some time that we need to think about how those units are used, either by the community or for the housing that we so desperately need. And I do think that that needs to be looked at carefully. Rated People have found the top garden projects that can add thousands of pounds to your overall house value. Owning an outdoor pool will boost your property by, this is funny because it just amuses me. What it says is owning an outdoor pool will boost your property's value by £7,707. Well, digging an outdoor pool would cost more than that. So the idea that you've boosted its value by spending more than it costs is amusing to me. It probably cost you at least double, probably treble that for any kind of pool in your garden. And even then, in my experience, I disagree with that. And I find that outdoor pools are not that appealing universally in the UK because we just don't have the weather for it. Indoor ones are, but outdoor ones not quite so much. Having an office space in a garden room could add an extra 5,000 to the value of your house, but is likely to cost 15 to 20,000. It doesn't say that. I'm just telling you that. And then finally, the gym in your backyard can add another 5,000. Installing bifolds could increase your home's value by £4,000. Well, yeah, but they cost more than that. So what's the point? And this is something that we touch on time and time again when we're talking to sellers, is that it's not necessarily the case that the things that you think will add value, by the time you've paid for them, had the hassle of installing them, are the right thing to do. People like potential. They don't mind a bit of work in these times when things are a bit tight. People will consider homes that need things to do. In fact, I'd say more than that. They like the P word. They want potential. They don't want everything done for them in the vast majority of cases. Potential sellers are asking for 44% more valuations than last year is an interesting one as well, because we're certainly finding we're getting the numbers of valuations through. They've yet to turn into large volumes of instructions versus the number of people we have registering for property. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the coming weeks, because it is still very early doors. This time of year, where are we? 25th of January. It's still at the beginning. We're in the winter. Things are always a little bit different. And we've got lots of conflicting data as well, haven't we? On the one hand, we've got the stock market being rocked with volatility right now. On the other hand, we've got interest rates going up. We've got repossessions. The moratorium has ended, meaning that properties can now be repossessed and will. So that brings another angle to the market. And then on top of that, we've still got high degree of confidence in and amongst buyers and sellers. So it'd be really interesting to see what this year brings. We said at the beginning of the year here in London, we expect to see prices rise, but not dramatically. And a lot of people think that estate agents want dramatic rises in prices. And the problem with dramatic rises is that ultimately, if you get too many of those, it can only end up in tears, can't it? We would much rather it was steady and underlined where the current market is, gave people a bit of confidence that they can buy going forwards and not having to worry about the prices going backwards, but by the same token, didn't run away ahead of inflation, so they remain more affordable. But the reality is, we're not building enough homes. You look at the statistics, and it's true time and time again. We need 300,000 homes a year. We're not getting even a third of that, and that's right throughout the pandemic. It's been even worse. So while that remains to be the case, the supply and demand issues are very real, and they are driving prices and property interest. So that's it for today's episode. Thanks very much for watching. We'll be back tomorrow with some more news. Until then, stay safe, look after yourselves, and if you can, your families and friends. Ciao.